Oh my god, look at this article. What is happening in Richmond? Apparently, 1 in every 6 moms in the maternity ward are foreign mothers. What does that mean? What is the article calling Richmond Hospital a passport mill?
Oh my god, yeah. Well, Canadian citizenship can automatically be obtained by birth in Canada ever since the first Canadian Citizenship Act in 1947. The law is known as jus soli, I think it is, which means right of the soil. This means that any person born on Canadian soil can automatically get Canadian citizenship. Despite this being a law in Canada since then, recently there has been a spike in what political figures are calling birth tourism. So basically what that means is like foreign moms come to Canada when they're pregnant and give birth to children here. Then they go back to their home countries with the child. So the problem Canadian citizenships are having with this is that they say the kid's born here and then they aren't really Canadian because they aren't like really living here when they're growing up. There's also a worry about Canada's social security net from the potential impact of these anchor babies, as they're called. And yeah.
Wow. It says in Richmond, BC right now, people just birth and dash. There is a big increase in unregulated birth tourism. This has been an underground practice for years, despite it being legal, and now people are being more and more open about it. I just don't understand why the government isn't capitalizing it on birth tourism to make money. Instead, the underground baby house or birthing hotels are the ones benefiting from it.
Let's go find out more about this.
Let's go find out.
At first glance, this family appears to be an average Asian family. Although all born and bred in Kazakhstan, the same cannot be said for the youngest of this household. For 8-month-old Amal, she carries the American passport.
So I was 6 months pregnant when I traveled to America for sightseeing and just stayed there to give birth to Amal. I did this for 2 reasons. The first reason is medical, of course, and the second one was to give an opportunity for Amal to be born in one of the greatest countries in the world.
Just that one move changes Amal's life forever. Where her parents and siblings will be struggling to obtain the US visa to visit America, it will be a going back home for her. But can it really be said to be home for Amal? Constitutionally, the answer is yes. Like the US, Canada is one of the other 32 countries of the world that still offers citizenship to any child born within its borders. Lately, however, the media has been going agog with how much controversy this law has been generating among Canadian political class and its citizens. But if it is legal, why this disdain?
Yeah. All right. Bye.
This is Callum. Unlike his grandparents who acquired the Canadian citizenship by naturalization, Callum is the second generation of his family who are Canadians by birth and have since lived in Canada. And he says he finds the law unfair to families like his.
It makes sense for a nation to keep its people kind of clearly defined. This way it's just quite easy to get in, especially in a socialized country like Canada, and get the benefits of Canada without having put in, my grandparents came here and they worked hard and they put money into the system. For somebody to come and just take something out of the system, or to just get the passport, which is built on the good name of my forefathers, without having contributed to the country, without having worked hard to defend or build or what have you, because not everybody can be in the military, obviously, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me to do it that way. I think it's fairer to have to, and I think this is actually true for anybody born in Canada, myself included, to have to take a civics exam and get your citizenship, like in many nations. Denmark, again, another example, Denmark, where if you want the citizenship, you have to take an exam and prove that you know Danish, that you know the history of Denmark, and that you will swear fealty to the Danish king, who, you know, he doesn't really do much now, but he still...
I totally understand you. So what I hear from you is this is unfair for those who have put in the work, for other people to just come and take this for granted. But it brings the question, what if when you look at the way the Canadian system is wired, right now they are taking in immigrants, right? And these are people that weren't born here anyways, but you know, if they go through some certain things, they become valuable citizens. They become Canadians.
Sure.
What if this child that was born here, say 20 years ago, returns and can add value to the system? Would that kind of make a difference to you?
It might. I just don't know, right? Like, I don't know enough. Like, the problem is, what if they go off to another country that doesn't have as good of an education system as Canada? They don't know English or French, because Canada has 2 languages, and they're not able to integrate very quickly. We're going to have to rehabilitate them. We're going to have to get them up to speed with everybody else in the country.
For Megan, however, although she is a tax-paying Canadian citizen, she sees nothing wrong with the law as long as those citizens return to the country to add value.
Like, this isn't just a yes or no blanket answer. This is about families. This is about future and what we want for ourselves, for our children, or for our own country. Like, I'm not willing to shut this down because it might be a drain on my resources as a future taxpayer. I could be letting in the next Elon Musk into the country, for crying out loud. I kind of would like him to be a Canadian, because you know what? He might be bringing in a whole lot of stuff for us, a lot of technology, a lot of innovations, a lot of things that can like boost our, you know, research situation. Why would we turn that away?
Amal's mom shares in Megan's sentiments and adds that instead of the growing agitation of people against birthright citizenship, Canada should look for ways to cash in on it like the US.
A few months until we spent almost $30,000. Can you imagine this amount? $30,000. They went to pay our accommodation. They went to pay clinic bills, which are cheap actually. They went to even shopping. Take shopping. You spend that money, and all that money goes for tax to local government.
At the moment, reports are rife about tourism birth homes, where private citizens collect large sums of money in cash from tourists to come and give birth in Canada. Payments that could have easily been earned by governments if the law is amended in such a way that it can cash in on such opportunity. For now, the elections are around the corners again. No doubt, birthright citizenship will take center stage as politicians seek to lure people into voting for them.
This is one of their campaign things. We're going to abolish this. To me, that personally doesn't sway me. To many others, probably, because they're going to be looking at the systems that these children would potentially be abusing or taking advantage of in the future. But I mean, to me, we have bigger issues than this to be dealing with in our political field, like our homeless, like our veterans, like, you know, where are we going to come up with the money for our medical systems, for people who are actually Canadian citizens? And I don't mean the ones that are just born and raised here. I'm talking about the ones that actually like went and got their citizenships, right? I have, like, my parents' neighbor is an American that went and got her Canadian citizenship. So are we going to deny them too? I don't know. I think we have bigger issues on the political field than this. And if this is what they're going to use to sway people, then that's just really unfortunate that people are going to look at that. There's bigger issues in Canada than this. Because really, yeah, it might be coming a bit of a boom. I think there's ways that the provinces that are struggling with this
can deal with that, or whether federally they want to start looking at trying to make this as another system that they could, tax on and gain money from. Why not with it?
But before any of them is voted in, the question that should perhaps be answered is the birthright citizenship really the problem?
It's the regulation that is a problem. People abuse the gaps in the system. Yes. So if you make it more regulated, it's the better. Make it more formalized, make it more formal. The law, regulate the process. Yeah, so that the new and babies or the unborn don't become victims of the systems.
Until this is answered, more people will continue to cash in on this opportunity while the politicians will. Group 7 for Public Sphere TV.